My name is Andrew Davila from Charlotte Works, and I serve as the Senior Business Engagement Manager. I'm here today with Ben Hutchins from RJ Leeper Company. He serves as the Director of Workforce Development Strategic Solutions. Today, we're going to talk to you about the Coalition for Construction Careers, also known as C3. So thank you, Ben, for joining us today.
You're welcome. Good morning, Andrew. Thank you for having me. I appreciate the opportunity to talk about something that I'm extremely passionate about in the construction industry, and that is construction for construction careers. So I'm Ben Hutchins with RJ Leeper Construction, and I also am the board chair for C3, Coalition for Construction Careers. I initially became engaged in C3 maybe a year or so ago through an individual who was with the Mayor's Youth Employment Program, more shortly known as MyApp, Andrew Noblick. He and I met at an NBA-sponsored youth session that was put on by then the Charlotte Chamber of Commerce. Its name is no longer the Charlotte Chamber, but Andrew and I struck up a conversation about career talent pipeline, and he asked me to attend a Mayor's Youth Employment Program event, in which I did, and I further learned about his involvement with C3 Construction because, of course, my interests are construction. And I attended a meeting and became smitten by the activities and the discussions. I initially met Eric Lewis, Erica Shorty, Christine Miller, and a whole bunch of talented folks at Charlotte Works and NC Works. I later became involved with Andrew Talaferro, Andrew Archie, Andrew Davila, a lot of Andrews there, and expanded my collaboration and relationships with Charlotte Works, NC Works. And I attended multiple meetings after that and became aware of the same concerns in the industry with my construction partners, construction suppliers, construction trades, construction administrators, and also other additional corporate partnerships. And my sole interest is developing talent in the construction industry.
Thank you, Ben, for telling us a little bit about how you got involved with C3. Can you tell me a little bit about what the benefit has been for being involved in C3?
Oh, it's been a tremendous benefit. I think particularly during this COVID period, contractors, or I'm speaking specifically about the construction industry, contractors were a little more isolated, a little more competitive. But since COVID, we've all made an effort, a conscious effort to come together and work together collaboratively. And so C3 has provided that platform to bring the industry, trade partners, industry fabricators and suppliers together and work on a much needed concern in our industry, and that is severe labor shortage.
You hit the nail right on the head, Ben, and pun intended, that there is that great labor shortage right now that we're experiencing. So can you tell me a little bit about maybe how Charlotte Works, NC Works helped your construction company with hiring, upskilling, or training?
Yes, my background specifically is in architecture and construction project management. I've been a senior construction project manager, an architectural designer, and my strengths are project management and solving complex construction building needs, concerns and issues. However, I was tasked to be and assigned to be the Workforce Development Strategic Solutions Director. And we began that process on two major City of Charlotte projects, which was the Charlotte Convention Center renovation and the Charlotte Airport Terminal Lobby expansion project. The Convention Center project was a $200 million project for 2 years The airport project was a $500 million project, and it's going to be a 4-year project. So we developed a model that was implemented on those 2 projects, a workforce development initiative on those 2 projects, which the city gladly accepted. Being a concerned contractor and aware of the labor shortage, we made an intentional effort to solve that problem. I was able to tap into that resource with Charlotte Works, NC Works, and recruit to date, and that took place maybe 19 months ago. To date, I think we've hired some 60-something persons from Charlotte Works, NC Works. So it's been a tremendous benefit on those 2 projects and other projects that I manage.
Right, and so within C3, the other community partners that are involved there include training providers. And so when Charlotte Works convenes C3, it really does include those community partners that are doing the training for you to tap into that talent pool. That talent pool does consist of individuals and residents within our county that may be experiencing economic disadvantage. So those partners that we're working with are really in the neighborhoods, in the community, working with those individuals to provide them upskill training so that they can find themselves in careers in construction. So Ben, moving to the next question, what are some construction hiring trends that you're seeing?
Again, and I'll try to define some of the hiring trends, but I may not be the subject matter expert, but I do want to chime into the aspect that we recruit from, as you mentioned, our community resource training partners and or providers. And those persons consist of the Goodwills, the Urban Leagues, the Twins, the Charlotte Area Funds, and multiple organizations which Charlotte Works also support and fund. So we recruit talent from those industries. And right now the trends are leading, and we're leaning toward those organizations for support and or for candidates to put onto our construction projects. We are looking at a big trend in the carpentry field. And the only reason why I mentioned carpentry, because carpentry covers so many of the multiple trades. There's some 52 different trade divisions in the CSI, Construction Specification Institute catalog, and carpentry seems to be a tool and or a cross skills training that could be utilized in most of those trades. So there's a severe trend toward competent carpentry. There's also a professional trend toward project management. And equally, there is, in which we're all aware of and continuously growing, is construction technology is a big trend in that area for BIM, drone technology. So again, Charlotte Works, NC Works, C3 is and C3 in particular provides a resource and a liaison for all of those activities and hiring needs and resources.
And so with all these hiring needs, what you're seeing as a trend is there's not going to be a shortage of talent. I think if anybody looks around the city of Charlotte, we see a lot of construction happening from residential single homes to multifamily home construction. Ben, tell me a little bit about how other construction companies may benefit from participating in C3.
Well, that's an easy answer because it's a collaborative effort. We all have, as I mentioned previously, an underlying concern, and that is a significant labor shortage. So we address that from 2 vantage points. The first vantage point is to create a backlog or create a career pipeline. So I'm involved with other organizations, and particularly C3 is engaged in making contractors and trade partners, we call them trade partners and not contractors, because we're in this together. So we partner on this same concern. So we make our trade partners aware of the multiple career talent pipelines. So those areas specifically are defined by what we call the construction statistical area. And those areas are economic zones where we serve the underserved, the underprivileged, and those who are seeking livable wages. So we use those resources in each of those communities, and we make our construction trade partners aware of all of those different opportunities to pull talent. So we tap into their training opportunities, renewal training, which is a city initiative program, Central Piedmont Community College, Goodwill Industries, Urban League, and I mentioned these before, Renaissance West, Community Partners, Airport Aviation Partners. There's just a whole wealth of community resource partners that C3 acts as a liaison and make these opportunities available. Grace Moore, and so they pick up talent in HVAC, carpentry, technology training, and et cetera.
Right. And so the whole objective for the C3 Coalition for Construction Careers is really about developing a talent pipeline for our local employers.
Exactly. We also take advantage of, Andrew, I think it's worthwhile mentioning, through C3, we direct our partners to the opportunities that Charlotte Works also provide through Upskill, through the WEO program, offering employment reimbursement for new hires, for internships. And so it's just making the construction industry and trade partners aware of the various opportunities to entice them and influence them to make that new hire.
Right. So working as a coalition, we're able to hire entry-level positions, moving into mid-level positions, and then to upper-level positions, which creates that not only a talent pipeline for entry-level positions, but also career development. Through utilization of all of our partners within C3, they, being the employees, do have access to career advisors, or career navigators or career coaches, whatever our partners call them. They have access to those individuals that will help them navigate and carve out a career within construction. So it's not about just an entry-level position and a dead-end job. There really are careers within construction. And as a coalition, it is our mission to get that out to the community, to our young folks, to our adults that may be transitioning into new employment opportunities. And that is the objective of C3, the Coalition for Construction Careers.
And if I may also add to that, we are extremely intentional about working with our corporate partners and our trade partners in the Charlotte statistical area to provide livable wages. And the average wage on the projects that we've hired folks on has been in a range from $17.50 to about $25 an hour, but the average is about $17.50 an hour for starting off, and that's pretty good.
That's great, Ben. And you added a great point there, is that C3 is employer-led and community supported. Our employers do have to be on board with being able to provide these career opportunities to individuals in our community.
So again, thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak about C3. We are launching C3 2022. We have some very exciting events coming up. We have a large information session planned with our community resource partners to have them come in and show the trade partner community the multiple opportunities and the many opportunities that they have for training in the construction industry and in the construction field. And we will have contractors collaborate or come in and be made aware of those opportunities that exist with our community resource training partners. We also have a quarterly meeting that we're coming up with our corporate partners to talk about strategies and talk about how we can continue our path forward with career talent development in this market and beyond. So we have some very exciting things coming up for the C3 2022.
Okay, Ben, so as we're wrapping up, how can an employer and local construction companies learn more about C3?
The easiest way is to visit the website, which is c3carolinas.com. Again, that website is c3carolinas.com, or you can contact myself, Ben Hutchins, at RJ Leeper Construction, and my email address is ben@leeper, Leeper, construction.com. I'm not going to give you my telephone number. You can contact my office. Thank you.
I don't blame you at all, Ben. Providing email address to get connected is a great way to begin getting engaged with C3 for our local employers and construction companies. Now, again, it is an employer-led coalition supported by community partners to develop a talent pipeline for individuals interested in careers in construction. Thank you, Ben, for joining us today. Thank you for your participation in C3 and becoming an employer champion and really working with C3 Coalition and the complete list of partners involved.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate the opportunity.